Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you may recognize that there was no footage from last week's game against Texas A&M. That is because the video file for the game against Texas A&M was completely lost. The files were corrupted. Anyway, we did win. It was 21-7 at home. First KU home game victory of the season. So we come into Columbia, Missouri against the hated Missouri Tigers at a record of 5-2, which is pretty good. They get a good quarterback in number 16, but we have a decent defensive line who brings him down right there. He is furious. And so they have to punt back to us here, and that's like a total shank. That's like fifth row of the stands here at Faurot. Is it Faurot? F-A-U-R-O-T, Faurot Field in Missouri. Halfback, the number 11, couldn't really get anywhere on the first play. Second play, much of the same thing. And then third down, KU still with the ball. We go with the play action here. Wide open is this tight end in the end zone. So we get the touchdown, and we get the 7-0 lead to start the game out. By the way, Mizzou came into this game, I believe, 2-5. Kansas 5-2. So this is pretty much a must-win game for them. Here's another angle of that replay. He was just wide open after the linebacker kind of bit on the play action. That's the good thing about the play action, though. Mizzou gets called for a hold there at the beginning of their next drive, so it's 1st and 20. And then they fumble, but they do recover it, so, you know, not a total disaster. Caught up in the backfield is number 38, their halfback here. And then they go to the air. It is caught, but very, very, very far short of the first down. That was what we were going for. Kansas with the ball back. I think I'm a little overzealous on the option with going just right up the middle with the quarterback. If I had somebody with more like directional mobility or agility, then maybe it would be a little bit better. It wouldn't be quite so slow for him to turn that corner upfield, but you know, he's alright. He can get the job done, and through the air as well, he's been getting the job done. Find his number 1 there for the first down. 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, but the Jayhawks are in position to score. Now, this was one of the premier rivalries in the Big 12 for a while. Not because the teams were always good, because often they weren't. In this case, in 2002, both of these teams, I believe, had losing records, and almost a touchdown there, but he was wide open. I should have thrown to him just a split second earlier. Anyway, in 2002, neither of these teams had good records, but there was a level of animosity on both sides of the rivalry that made it really, really enjoyable and fun to watch. Hopefully, since Mizzou joined the SEC, it's been lost. We haven't played each other at all outside of postseasons in softball and soccer, and Mizzou is 3-0 against us since the move to the SEC in softball and soccer, which is, an unfortunate thing to talk about. But still, I would just love to see this rivalry come back, because you know what? I've had no qualms about the fact that I hated Missouri, and that's a touchdown for the Tigers there. Number 12, keep an eye on him on the left side of your screen the whole game, because he is easily their best player. I don't know if his real life, actual counterpart went to the NFL or anything, but he was just tearing up the Jayhawks secondary all day today. And the Jayhawks, we have a pretty decent secondary. Receiver number 1 almost makes the catch there, but bobbles it right at midfield. We get a couple of yards on the option up the middle, but then on 3rd and 6, we try to go to the left, and he just drops it again. So we got a bad case of drops today. There's a punt for Mizzou. I thought I was just in position to make the tackle here and just missed. That's one of the big issues I have in this game, is the fact that I'm holistically inaccurate in terms of making tackles. A bad way to be, and plus it gives them great field position so they can go out and chuck the ball deep. They don't get it there, of course. That was an overthrow. It was a windy day in this game, so the pass game was a little bit affected. Not terribly, because Mizzou did score most of their points via the air, especially via the quarterback 16, wide receiver number 12 combination there. The running back breaks the tackle and then just kind of falls to the ground and calls a timeout. That was a little weird, but whatever. Kind of like the New York Giants in that Super Bowl in 2012. I don't know if anybody remembers that, where they just kind of tried to sit down at the 1-yard line. But you look, all of their passing on that graphic that was up there, 78 yards of passing all to the left side of your screen, of the field as well. And this would be no different. Touchdown again. That's his second touchdown of the game, number 12. And just like that, the Tigers take the lead, 14-10. On the ensuing kickoff, we were just trying, you know, we will get the ball back. The Jayhawks will get the ball back at the beginning of the third quarter. We just kind of, I think we were probably going to try to, you know, run the clock out, whatever, and then fumble. Not the way you want things to go. And then their team is just, when Mizzou's offense in this game got going, they were just unstoppable. Like right there, they had two guys pretty much wide open in the end zone, and a perfect pass to one of them, which is, you know what, that's very unfortunate for the Jayhawks. We try to go for a Hail Mary here, almost like we make the catch, don't get any further though, so you know what, that's unfortunate. End of the second quarter, first half, 21-10, Missouri looking very good at home. Again, here on the speed option, I don't pitch the ball, but actually probably for good reason there. There were a lot of people in the area. Mizzou has kind of taken away the pitch, which I think is a good way to defend the running game when the running back just can't get any yards. 3rd and inches, we go just quarterback keeper there on the option. Probably could have pitched it there. He had a pretty decent lane to the outside. Just would have had to make sure that we didn't, you know, cough up the ball there. Then there's a drop and a pass knocked down. Trying to escape here, trying to scramble, get sacked. Then 4th and 12, trying to go for it because we're kind of out of field goal range. Yet still, you don't want to really punt here. I don't think that was a terrible decision to go for it because they wouldn't have. You know, it would have been like a 15-yard swing probably at the most on a punt. There's decent defensive coverage there by the safety. The KU number 12 safety and then Mizzou number 12 receiver had a pretty good duel going on this whole game. That was another overthrow. That one probably wind-aided as well. There were a lot of balls that just got overthrown by the Mizzou quarterback today. That was terrible, thrown into double coverage. I think I just pressed the wrong button. And then number 11 finally kind of got going. He finally had a pretty big run there. Huge hole around the outside. I don't think they were even expecting him to really do anything because he hadn't been doing much of anything this whole day. To get back to my my earlier point just about Mizzou and Kansas, this rivalry was always very intense, even if neither team was good. And that's a touchdown right there, by the way. After this game in 2002, Missouri won. I don't think either team finished with a winning record in this season, and the Mizzou fans, you know, ran onto the field and tore down the goalpost. Happened this in 2003 the same way. 2005, it wasn't like an upset at all for KU. Well, 2004 was great. 2004 was a KU win at Mizzou back when they used to play. Well, back when they used to play, period. 17-21 at the end of the third quarter. But then, like, 2000, and for whatever reason, we're celebrating here. That's not good. That's bad programming, NCAA 2003. Don't be so sure of yourself. You're losing. That's a bad idea. You don't celebrate when you're losing, even if it is a comeback. Bad throw there. Again, overthrown. And keep bringing up these overthrows, because you will see at a certain point the switch kind of flips. That was a great catch, again, in coverage. Climbing up the ladder, beating the corner, and really he was the only guy who could have made the catch there. Great sack there by the right end, number 51. Anyway, yeah, there's just emotions would always run so high in this rivalry. That was probably what I loved about it the most. This is very clearly overthrown, but then the wind brings it back to him, and that's a touchdown. So there, that was the play I was leading up to, talking about all these overthrows. Sometimes the wind actually aids you. That guy was so wide open downfield, wasn't even funny. That almost was like the same situation there, but for the Jayhawks. Didn't end up being that way. 3rd down, we go to the tight end who doesn't make the catch. And so now 4th and 7. We've got to find something, make something happen. And number 2 with a one-handed catch. If he had beaten that one man, that would have been a touchdown. So 1st and 10. We're still alive. We're not quite dead. The halfback, number 11, makes the catch. So you know what? He was making plays even though he was pretty much neutralized on the ground. Knocked down there in coverage in the end zone, so we don't score the touchdown we wanted. Reminder, we're down by 11. We're not down by, a touchdown here would just bring us closer to completing a comeback. A touchdown here would not actually put us in the lead. That was a great catch. Didn't even look back. Just kind of made the catch. That always happens in real life. That's just kind of how it goes. I mean, you look here on the replay, he doesn't even turn around to make that catch. And you know what? Good. That's skill. And then the 2-point conversion to put the game within reach of a field goal if it came down to that. 25-28 Mizzou. They throw on 1st down when they could have tried to run the clock out and just, make sure we lose all our timeouts. They run on 2nd down, so we do call a timeout there. But then again on 3rd down, they throw the ball to a very clearly covered man. It's, you know, a good play by the cornerback number 3, who hadn't really made that many plays in this game. He had, you know, he was on number 12 for Mizzou, who was just lighting him up the whole game. Unfortunately, I think number 3 that year was a freshman. Great catch by number 19 up there, so it's a first down, and we're in scoring position. So you know what? Taking the gamble, going for the 2-point conversion, might end up working in our favor after all. You know, because if you get a random, you know, a field goal, this was almost an interception. That was a terrible pass. I should not have thrown that. Then 3rd and 6, though, this is actually important because if we wanted to win on this drive, we would need to complete that. We couldn't. Under pressure, almost made it, and then here's the field goal to tie the game up. Terrible wind, and we miss. So undeniably, the crowd in Columbia going crazy. We do have 2 more timeouts, though. If you remember, they passed twice on that last drive, so we are able to stop the clock twice. So there is still a sliver of hope left for the Jayhawks. They just got to stop this halfback here, but he just breaks off, and he just goes, and he goes. But then there's a fumble, recovered by the aforementioned freshman number 3, and not only do the Jayhawks recover, but he's going to take this one back all the way to the house. Yeah! So you go from a 0% win possibility, all the guy has to do is get down onto his knees and then take a knee, and then the game is over and there's nothing we can do, to actually having the lead. Mizzou had one final shot at the end zone. They take it, they almost get it, is the other crazy thing. 5 yards away from winning the game, but you know what, those are the longest 5 yards of this entire game, and you know what, it doesn't matter. Kansas wins the marching drums. This is technically an episode of Trophy Hunt, if anybody remembers that. Kansas wins in just the most bizarre of fashions to improve to 6-2. We take home the drum. I don't even know where that drum is. I presume Missouri still has it. We didn't really. The only time we ever actually gave it out was like in 07 and 08 when it really meant something. We look here at the top 25 polls. That is the. You know, we're not a part of it, unfortunately. Even 6-2, that's a pretty decent record, better than Texas has. Next week we play K-State, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. I will see you again next time.